Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are going to discuss about lab number 18, packet tracer activity 10.1.2.5. Okay, so we almost alhamdulillah finish chapter number 9, both activities, lab 16 and 17, 15, 16. We already finished. Okay, so now today this lab inshallah, both lab I try to upload in the e-learning as well, and you can see the video and perform all the practical. Okay, this activity is regarding IPv4 default route. Okay, so IPv4 default route to the internet propagate the default route to the other OSPF router. So this router 2, how it will propagate the default route to router 1, and how router 2 will propagate the default route to router 3. Okay, and what we need to do, we will verify the default route in the downstream. Okay, whether this default route is propagated along with the OSPF protocol or not. So we will verify router 1, and in router 3 we will verify this default route is propagated along with OSPF routing protocol or not. Okay, so first of all we should understand what is default route. Okay, so the default route in which is known as the gateway of the last resort. The gateway of the last resort. Please try to understand what is default route. So this is the question. I'm going to ask you the question. Please write down your answer in the comments below, in the video comments below. Okay, so what is a default route? Default route, we can say it is the gateway of the last resort. It is used in forwarding a packet whose destination address does not match any route in the routing table. If the destination address does not exist in the routing table, then default route will play its role, and so default route will take effect when no other route is available for any IP destination address. Okay, so now we will start our practical. So how we can configure the default route and how it can be propagated to downstream router 1 and router 3. If you will see, we cannot ping from PC1 to web server. We cannot ping. So if we cannot ping, you can see, check from PC1 to PC web server, you will see the output, the fail. Okay, you can see it is failed, so you cannot ping. Double click and you cannot ping, so you cannot send and receive the packet. Even though you can go to the command prompt of the PC and write ping to the web server IP, you cannot ping it because the destination is unreachable, so they don't have the route here. So what we will do, we will configure the default route on router 2, and this default route then will be propagate to the router 1, router 3. So if any packet belongs to this web server, so that web server it will accessible through this PC. Okay, now let's start our practical. First step is, let me check what is the first step. First step is configure default route on router 2. Okay, so this router 2 we will configure the default route. Okay, so go to the router, go to the CLI. Again, I think I did not change the setting. Let me change the setting here first. Go to the option, preferences, go to the font and change the font size. Okay, the 12, I think the 12 is okay. Always I forget to do all these things. Okay, no issue. So now I think it is okay now. Okay, so first what we need to do, we need to configure the default route, show IP route. If you will see show IP route, so you can see the gateway of the last resort is not set. Okay, so if we will configure the default route, then configure terminal, write IP route. Okay, what is the IP route? So quad 0 0.0.0, sorry, 1 minute, 0.0.0.0 and subnet mask 0.0.0.0 and the serial interface. Okay, the serial interface, what is the serial interface here? If you will go to the activity here, see here the serial interface, serial 0.0.1. okay, this serial 0.0.0.1. so this is the we need to give this serial interface, because it will propagate its things to this router 2 serial.0.0.1. okay, this is the serial.0.0.1 because it will accessible to the web server. If we will write this one now, if any packet that does not exist in the routing table of router 2, what it will do, it will forward through this serial interface, serial 0.0.1. okay, this is the serial interface, serial 0.1.0. okay, sorry, serial 0.1.0. so it will forward to this interface. Now it is the responsibility of these routers to find out the destination address for the destination address of the packet, destination address for this packet. okay, so these router, they can easily find out the web server. So now what we will do it, we will configure quad 0 and serial 0.1.0. okay, so this is the interface here. If you will see, this is the interface here. okay, now it has been configured. So if you will write do show IP route, so you will see the gateway of the last resort is configured. okay, if any packet whose destination address is not does not match in the routing table, in the routing table, then it will forward through this serial interface to the internet. okay, so this is the thing. Then what we need to do then, okay, so then this route should, this default route, whatever we configured, it should be propagate along with the router OSPF. okay, this static default static route should propagate here. In EIGRP, if you remember, we also configure the default route and how it can propagate to the downstream routers. We already configured. okay, so this is the same way, but this time we are using OSPFv2. okay, OSPFv2. so this time we are using OSPF. In the OSPF, some commands are little bit different. How you can propagate the default route in OSPF, it is little bit different. okay, so how we can redistribute this one. So if you will go and see in the router 1, you will not find this default route, show IP route. okay, if you will go and see, you will not find this default route. see, gateway of the last resort is not available. Even you will not find this default route in router 1 and router 3. okay, now go to the router 2 and you need to propagate the default route. How we can propagate the default route, please try to understand. Propagate the default, how we can do it, just go to config. okay, first we should know what is the which protocol show IP OSPF. okay, so which protocol we are using, OSPF. okay, what is the process ID? Process ID is 1 because we configure it's already pre-configured. The OSPF 1 is pre-configured. okay, with process ID 1. okay, and then we can go to configure terminal and we need to go to the router OSPF 1. okay, here we can now propagate this default route. okay, we are going to this default route going to propagate to the downstream router 1 and router 3. default information originate. so this is the command used in OSPF to propagate the default route. okay, this is the command. Which command? Default information originate. okay, default information originate. so this command, once you will type this command and press enter, so then it will redistribute the default route to the downstream routers. okay, so now if you will go and see here, show IP route, see the gateway of the last resort is set. Now you can see the output and see here E2 external OSPF external to route. This is the default route via this serial interface. okay, you serial 00.0 it learned. okay, so if you will see here, you will find the same concept and same output, show IP route. See, so you can just make it a little bit large. You can see this is the OSPF external route learned through this serial interface. Okay, so this default route is propagated to router 1 and router 3. Now what we will do it, now we will see okay, just I would like to ask you one question here. So in EIGRP, how we are propagating the default route in EIGRP? What is the command? Can you tell me please? Yes, yes, correct. So just you can write redistribute static. Okay, in EIGRP, if you are writing a redistribute static, so it will propagate the EIGRP route to the downstream routers. But in OSPF, the command is different here. The command is default information originate. Okay, default information originate. So this is the default route is going to be distributed to the other routers. Okay, now what you can do it, now we can verify the connectivity from PC1 to the web server. Now okay, this time we will use a ping command, ping 64.100.1.2. you can see this is the IP address of the web server. Just you can ping here 64.100.2. you will see you can see the ping reply. See, it is successful. Okay, so it means we configure the default route. After that we are able to access the web server. So this video is regarding default route. Thank you for watching the video. Please like the video. If you have any comments, you are most welcome, and write your comment. So see you in next video. So let me stop and the video, show Control